So breath work is a relatively new term that people are getting their heads around here in Western society. It has been a practice in the East for thousands and thousands of years, but we're definitely here kind of trying to get around what is this? What is breath work? And it's definitely being used as an umbrella term to describe many different types of practices. So I wanted to clarify a little bit about the different types of breathwork you can come across, what the difference is, and also to explain a little bit about what I do. What am I teaching? What are you going to get when you come to one of my classes? Because again, when I started learning about breathwork, or when I started training about to be a breathwork teacher, I started reading into all about breathwork. I was just so excited reading. Every time I read something, it was describing something completely different and it was really confusing. So I'm going to make a relatively short video to clarify a little of some of those categories. So there's 3 categories I'm going to talk about. 1 is breath awareness, 2 is breathing techniques, and 3 is breathwork healing. And I will describe them for you. So first of all, breath awareness, we're probably more aware of this one. When it comes to meditation, it's a technique where we follow the breath, watch the breath in a meditation. So we close our eyes and we pay attention to the breath coming in and out. We don't change the breath. We don't breathe faster or slower or anything. We just pay attention to the breath. I used to practice Vipassana meditation, which is a wonderful meditative practice, which is exactly this, paying attention and staying with the breath. So the thoughts come and go, we keep coming back to breathing and staying with the breath. Wonderful technique. 2 is breathing techniques, I like to call. Now this category and the next category generally fall under the term of breath work, in the way that breath work really describes any technique where you're changing the pattern of your breath to elicit an effect. So breathing techniques might be box breathing. You might breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and continue in that pattern. It's a wonderful technique for calming the nervous system, relaxing the mind, and also if you find meditation difficult, it's a nice meditative practice to do for calming the body. Also there's coherence breathing. We breathe for 5 times a minute. So you breathe in for 6 seconds, you breathe out for 6 seconds, and you continue that for many minutes. Again, and there's loads of research done on these techniques to show how they really are benefiting our body, our nervous system, our physiology. They're fantastic. We generally will do them for calming effect on the body. Lots of other ones. You can breathe in if you're feeling very panicky or stressed. A good one is to breathe in for 2 seconds, breathe out for 4. So a longer exhale will really help calm the nervous system. All fantastic. All what I would put in the category of breathing techniques. So lastly, I wanted to explain what breathwork healing was, and it's kind of different to those breathing techniques which we would use just to kind of calm ourselves, or just relax, rest. The third category, breathwork for healing, is a different technique we'll use, and it's quite a little bit more on the intense side of things, where what we're trying to do, or what happens during it, whether we try or not, generally we don't try, is actually starting to move stuff in our body, stuck emotions, old unprocessed experiences, emotions, feelings that we might be holding on to. It causes a lot of tension in our body. So we breathe in a particular pattern that will create, we kind of get into this altered state, we call it, where it actually feels like a trippy psychedelic experience. And we can start to let go of emotion. We can feel emotional. It gets quite intense sometimes. And then we can move into this amazing, blissful state where we feel so connected with ourselves. We feel connected to our intuition. Our mind just quiets completely and it feels super blissful. Like that's a whole other ball game than category 2, which is, really nice, but just for relaxation. So when we do breathwork healing, we can really start to let go of stuff and feel lighter in our lives going forward. So there's lots of different types of breathwork healing. I teach something called pranayama, breathwork healing, through David Elliott. There's Wim Hof method is on those lines. There's transformational breath, again, just a wonderful techniques. It's quite similar to what I teach. There's holotropic and there's rebirthing. There are other practices, and they all range in intensity and ins and outs of how the breath is done, or how the session goes. So they're all slightly different techniques suit different people. They're all great, check them out. And yes, if you're going to come to one of my classes, it's going to be the third one. I do these shorter classes, so it doesn't have to be super intense, but it'll definitely give you a flavour of what it is. So I'll do some longer workshops and a few shorter classes, and I do programs as well to go a little bit deeper into it. So if it sounds intriguing or interesting, come give it a go or get in touch, ask me any questions. Happy to help clarify some of these things. Sometimes it's so confusing, all these terminology. So I hope that helped.